Hello again guys, welcome back to another Big Al Devlin video here at the House of Devlin. Thank you very much for tuning in, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be continuing our series that we've had on here for a little while called The Drink of the Gods. Now some of you may not actually realise what this series is about if you've not seen it before, but you probably can guess from the name what it's about. The Drink of the Gods. Basically what I do is I go out and I get a variety of new meads that I've not had before, I taste them, review, and then give my feedback to you. I'm not a poet, and you can probably tell, right? But anyway, today what I'm going to be doing, I'm actually going to be filming 4 videos for you today. I'm going to be releasing them over the week. But I'm going to be reviewing these 4 meads that you see behind me. Each one of them is a little bit different to one another, and of course I'll be giving my full review in each video. Now, these meads were given to me very graciously. I mean, someone who gives you free mead, right? That's a friend for certain, right? And it was given to me by a company called the Mead Boutique. Okay, you'll see their name and their website across the screen right now. It'll be popping up, but if you want to get their full details and copy and paste it because you don't want to type it out or whatever, then if you click on the description of the video beneath here, where my fingers are now, should be roughly where the arrow is, you'll get a full literature of their website and their Instagram accounts. But their website is themeadboutique.com and their Instagram account is @themeadboutique. Okay, at being the squiggly A. Now, just to try and hook you in to visiting the site, what they've done is they've given a very special offer to any of the viewers here on this channel. And basically, when you go to their site, if you want to purchase anything, it doesn't have to be any of these 4 meads, it could be something else that I've not reviewed. Go onto their site and put in the code House of Devlin, and you'll get 10% off your order. Now that's a bargain, I've got to say that for sure. Right, enough of that spiel, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get into drinking the meads now, and I'm not going to give you that rhyme again, don't worry. I'm going to give you my reviews and feedback on each one of them. Okay, so this is where the fun bit starts. The mead that we're going to be looking at in this particular review is the Sparkling Mead by Marourde. I'm assuming it's pronounced, or Marourde, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But what I do like is that they've actually put the effort to put their logo on the bottle top as well. Now, I know appearances can be deceiving, and the outward appearance of the bottle doesn't necessarily tell you what the content's going to be like, but when they put an effort into the outside of the bottle, it tends to mean that the inside of the bottle is also going to at least have some effort put into it, which is a nice thing. It's encouraging to see. If it certainly wasn't presented well, then you'd be a little bit worried. So it's nice to see that they've put some effort in this appearance. It's got quite a modern look actually to it. It almost has a kind of a cocktail or a gin kind of like feel to it. I quite like it. It's quite a vibrant look to the bottle and to the mead itself. A little bit different to what you typically see, for example, with meads. The mead itself is produced by Marourde wines. And has been produced using locally sourced bees down over in the Kent Downs, where the company's based. In addition to that, once the mead is sort of gone through the fermentation process and that being produced, it's then aged in both oak and manuka flower, which is a winning combo as far as I'm concerned, because I love manuka flower and I love alcoholic beverages that have been aged in oak. That's a good sign. I'm already liking this mead already. I hope it kind of lives up to my expectations. One extra thing to mention also about this before we go into sort of general appearance of obviously the stuff inside, is that this company is actually involved in a variety of biodiversity initiatives to save the habitats of their local bees. Which is a lovely thing to have. I mean, you may not care about that, but I think that's a nice thing for the company to be involved in. And I must admit, I really do think that's a really good thing that they care where the mead comes from, essentially, and they're actually actively involved in trying to preserve habitats for what is essentially a declining bee population within the UK. So an extra bonus at least. Okay. It certainly speaks volumes about the integrity of the company at the very least. and they're involved in things like this. Now, the alcoholic content of this is 4%, and the bottle contains 275 mils. When we look at the bottle itself, regarding the internal aspects, because we've got clear glass, we can see what the mead looks like inside. It's a very, super high clarity mead. No cloudiness whatsoever. Of course, there's a bit of bubbles at the top, but that's because it's a sparkling mead. And when you look at it, you can't actually see much of a colour to it. It's almost completely clear, especially when you hold it at a kind of arm's length. It's only when you get up close, and especially when you look down the bottle like that, then of course you can see the typical yellow or orange hue that you would get with mead, and with this it's a yellow hue, but mead can either be yellow or orange in appearance, so at least we know it's mead, or it should be mead. So overall, I'm quite impressed with the appearance of the bottle and the contents. I'm very much looking forward to tasting a mead that's been aged with Manuka flower and within an oak container also. So I'm very much looking forward to this. So let's crack it open and see what it tastes like. And the first thing to make sure that whenever you drink any alcoholic beverage, or any drink in fact of any kind, or even eat food, is that you first very much make sure that you take in the aroma and the scent of what you're about to drink or eat, because the mass majority of your taste buds, or your sensation of taste, more precise, it comes from your sense of smell. Okay, and so if you were to have something like this, where you pinch your nose, if you eat or taste something with whilst you pinch your nose, little experiment for you to do, you'll notice that all of a sudden you lose a lot of the taste of what you're tasting. And so it's important when you open your mead or any drink that you're tasting and want to appreciate the taste of, that you actually take in the aroma. And so, as I always say, if in doubt, take a good sniff, which is about what I'm about to do now. So don't worry if you see me sniffing around the bottle, I haven't got a cold or anything, I'm just appreciating the scent. Okay. Oops. Okay, so this bottle top's not coming off too, is it? There we go. Right. Oh, okay, so that's got a lovely smell to it. Okay, it's quite a, it's definitely mead. You can definitely tell it's mead. You can smell the honey on it. You can 100% smell that honey. And I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, it smells not like what you get with a sweet mead, where the smell and the taste of the honey and everything is very much there. There's definitely honey within it. You can definitely have a kind of almost flower element, which of course is the Manuka. But it definitely has that kind of, I don't know, when you smell like a dry wine, for example, it smells differently to a sweet wine. It's kind of got that almost slightly more alcoholic kind of smell to it. Definitely has that. So I expect this probably to be a driest mead. Okay, but with a honey aspect to it. Okay, so well, of course it would have, it's mead. But let's have a good taste of it. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, that I like. That is very different. So out of all the sparkling meads I've had so far, they either have gone down the route of making it flavoured with like hops or something like this to have a more ale or beer-like essence to it. Absolutely loved them, despite hating beer and ale myself. Loved the Gosnells and the Boozy Bees, which are along those lines. And then you've got this one here, the Shire Meadery that I've tasted earlier on today also. That's gone down the kind of fine wine, almost fine mead like route and about it. So it's gone very subtle, very, very delicate. And I must admit, out of all of them, that was my least favourite, but not for bad reasons, just because it doesn't suit my own personal palate. It actually, I would say, is the most highest quality of these meads put together. You can tell that the guy who's made it definitely knows his stuff and why he's won awards. But when I drink this is actually the closest to a traditional mead out of these four meads that I've ever tasted out of these four. It is very, very close to a traditional mead. But it has that sparkling element. It's really nice. it's really hard actually, because you've got that a little bit of a kind of sweetness. I wouldn't say that this is a truly dry mead. I'd say it's more medium. That you can definitely taste a little bit of sweetness of the honey. Um, Obviously, you've got the texture of the honey and a little bit of a burn that you kind of get with mead, especially dry meads and stuff. But it's a very subtle element to that. And as I say, the kind of sweetness is very much there. You can definitely 100% tell this is mead when you're drinking it. 100%. You can taste and feel the honey. It's definitely not a sweet mead though. It's definitely 100% not a sweet mead. Even though you have that sweetness, it's definitely not gone full sweet, if you know what I mean, because the taste of the mead is 100% of the honey is definitely there, but it's kind of, you can feel like it's been pulled back a little bit. And you can feel that that's probably actually from the aging process, and the Manuka flour as well. It's kind of, the Manuka flour's added a slightly different, added, a little element, just a twist to the taste. Not enough to make it taste something different to honey, it still tastes like honey, but it's twisted it enough just to make it taste like, oh, is that honey with something else, kind of thing. And the oak aging process has kind of matured that taste into what it is, a drier tasting honey. So I would actually describe that as kind of a medium honey. I know it's described, I think, as a dry honey, a dry mead, but I would describe it as a medium dry. It's definitely going towards the medium side, if not the full medium side of mead, to my personal palate. And I really enjoy it. I like it. Now, compared to the other meads that I've drank here, check those reviews out if you have not seen them. This would be harder to drink in larger quantities, but for just a single bottle, maybe, you've had a late night at work and you just want to unwind and chill, but you don't want to drink, 5, 6, 7, 8 bottles or even more of it, and enjoy yourself, as I say, by having quite a large quantity of mead and getting a bit tipsy. This is something where you just enjoy the bottle, but you can enjoy it every night, just a little bottle every night, and you can really appreciate the flavour that this has. As I say, those of you who enjoy mead, especially sweet meads, but all kinds of meads, you will enjoy this, because this is very much what I would describe, in my experience, as a traditional mead. The kind of mead that you would have got probably in the Middle Ages, that kind of time period, where they've started to master its production a little bit more. They've had a bit more time to experiment, basically. And it tastes like that. I can imagine myself almost being like a medieval knight drinking this to kind of, make myself brave before a battle, so to speak. But at the same time, I really enjoy it. That's a really well put together mead. Now, it's not as delicate as the light mead over here by Shire Meadery. That was beautifully put together, but like I say, it was so well put together, personally, it wasn't to my palate. And these two, as I say, were much more hops based or ale based, and beautiful. I mean, the Boozy Bees particularly, is something I'm going to go enjoy now after doing these reviews. But this is much more to my classic taste, so to speak. I love just a traditional, unaltered mead, and this is essentially what this is. It's very crisp. It's almost citrusy in some respects, and it seems a bit contradictory saying it tastes like honey, but it does have a citrusy element almost to it, in the sense that it's very crisp. Not a citrusy taste, but a citrusy feel about it, but with that honey taste. And that's absolutely lovely. And of course, to finish off the review, I must of course finish with what I always say is the age-old tradition, drinking it out of my drinking horn to of course fully understand its full flavour. But of course, some meads, I do believe that mead really should be drunk within a drinking horn most of the time, but as I found with the sparkling meads, is not always the case. The Gosnells was very good in here, but it was equally good within the bottle. It just depended on your personal preferences. I could say the same about the Shire Meadery. Boozy Bees, definitely 100% drink that out of a bottle, don't drink out of a horn. But we'll see what this one's like. Okay. Bombs up, eh? Okay, so that works. This is definitely a very traditional mead in my opinion, with a slight twist. You know, it's not a classic mead, but it is a classic mead or traditional mead with a slight twist to it. This works beautifully in the horn. In fact, I would actually recommend drinking it out of the horn rather than in the bottle. Perfectly lovely in the bottle, but the horn definitely enhances the good parts of this, and that's why I always say that mead, certainly traditional mead, should always be drunk out of a drinking horn because it enhances the flavours that you would normally, and the textures that you associate with traditional mead. It enhances them, makes certain bits which sometimes are a bit overpowering, more subtle, makes the bits that you want to taste more of, more prevalent. It's only subtle changes, but the horn does change it, in my opinion, and as I say, enhances it. As you say, didn't really get that as much with these ones, but this one particularly, as I say, the Marourde, that works beautifully in a horn. In fact, that I'm going to be drinking out of my horn. But first of all, I'm going to finish off with the Boozy Bees, and I'm going to put that, the one that we've just reviewed, the Marourde, into the drinking horn, and I'm going to have myself a nice night. And I'll keep the other two in the fridge, and hopefully they won't go too flat for tomorrow morning if I need the hair of the dog. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this review and all the other reviews that I've done on all of these meads. I hope to obviously do more reviews for you in the future. Certainly this is a series that I will be very much interested in continuing. If any of these meads interest you, or as I say in this particular review, this one here interests you, or you just want to have a look at what meads are out there, please visit the guys who were gracious enough to give me these meads, the Mead Boutique at themeadboutique.com. You can check them out on Instagram as well, and that's simply at, the squiggly A, the Mead Boutique, and you can find all their details in their description below also, and you probably have seen it somewhere across the screen at one point. So guys, please go there, and remember, save yourself 10% by putting in the code House of Devlin, and you'll get 10% off whatever